Well, hello, everyone. It's 3:30, so I wanted to go ahead and get started. My name is Candace Barrera, and I'm here today to talk about Bitmoji in the classroom. And this is something new, fairly new to me that I became interested in when during the pandemic, when teachers were teaching remotely. I noticed that a lot of teachers were coming out with these Bitmoji classrooms. So I looked them up and saw that they're not only a cute little Bitmoji, they also have a lot more to them. So I wanted to talk about that today and show you a Bitmoji classroom that I started to create, and I'm new at this, so I really tried hard to get everything in there that I thought would be helpful if I were in the classroom with students. So I'll show you that, and then I'll also put a link in the chat that has some helpful steps that I thought you might need to reference later on if you wanted to actually do a Bitmoji classroom for yourself. And if you can't follow along with what we're going to do today, then you can go ahead and click on that link in the chat, and hopefully you can do one later. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there for you so you can check that out. There you go. So that should be my link to my Bitmoji steps, and I also included some helpful steps or helpful tips. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now so that I can go to that and just show you what it's all about. Okay, check this off. So you're viewing my screen now, and this is the document that I just put in the chat. So it looks like this. I really was trying hard to get all of the major steps on a one-page document. So I created 10 steps to creating your Bitmoji classroom. And then I also included some tips on some different tools that may be helpful and useful for you when you start to create your classroom. So I first want to talk about, before we go ahead and look at my classroom, and I'll show you that now, but one thing you have to have when you start a Bitmoji classroom is creating your Bitmoji. And you can see one of mine here sitting on the computer or behind the computer. And the way you do that, there's two different ways. You have an app that's on your phone, and you can do it through your phone. And, it lets you kind of create your avatar and what you want to wear, and, how your hair is going to look. And so I hopefully that was kind of close to what I look like most days, but it's kind of fun to go ahead and try to do that. And the other way is you can do it through a Chrome extension on your computer, and you find the extensions here with this little puzzle or broccoli looking icon there. If you click in there, it'll take you to extensions. You can go to manage extensions here, and then you can find the Bitmoji app. You can see that I already have it on my computer, and what I did was just click this pin, and it pins it up here to my taskbar. So that is a great way to kind of access your Bitmojis really quick when you need them, or when you want to put them in your classroom, or maybe on a document like you see here. So after you have that on your computer and you get that extension, it will look like this little green square here. And you can click into that, and then you'll see that many Bitmojis come up here, and you can just pick the one you want. So I know a lot of them come with words here. So I heard a tip that if you put standing pose with the word pose, or sitting pose, you'll get just the individual Bitmoji, like you can see mine here, without all the words around it. So hopefully that is something that you can use. All right, so you have my steps. So I want to go now to the actual Bitmoji classroom that I created. And we'll take a look at the finished product, and then we'll kind of walk through the steps of what I went through to create it. Okay. So here it is. This is my classroom, and I just want to kind of give you a little tour and take you around here to see what all is included, okay? So you can see here that there I am sitting down on the chair, so I chose the sitting pose. And then the focal point of the classroom is this whiteboard here. So this is where I'm going to include the assignments that I want my students to be able to view closely so that they can see if we're working on the week of November 14th. I'm going to post my assignments here, what exactly they're doing in each of these subjects. So one really cool fact about this is that all of these assignments here have a link to them over here on this bookshelf. Okay, so you can see in reading, I said read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, chapter 10, and here's the book here. If I were to click on this or send it to students and they click on it, then they'll be able to click on the link here that will take them right to chapter 1 and 2 of this book. Okay, and that's supposed to be chapter 1 and 2. There we go. Okay, then if you go down here to the math area, you can see in math, we're learning about fractions. So I connected this to Khan Academy lesson 5. So if you click in this math area, you'll see it connects to Khan Academy. I just love the fact that you can interact with your students in this way. So this is really helpful when they might be absent one day, and you can go ahead and share this particular slide with them, and then they can just click on the different things and get the assignment that they missed. So the last one here is our assignment for rocks and minerals, and it is going to be found here in this National Geographic for Kids lesson. So that is the science lesson. Now, there's one other thing on here that I wanted to talk about because social emotional learning is really big in the classrooms right now. So you can see that I put a social emotional think positive YouTube link here. And the reason I focused on think positive is because that is my poster that I included here. Now I could have done this two ways. I could have put hyperlinked the poster so the kids could click on the poster just as they clicked on the book, but I thought I would go ahead and just put it on the board so that you can see it can be done two different ways. I included this little cloud here with a reminder for kids to click on the images on this shelf in order to find those lessons. Okay, and you can see almost every object or image on here can be connected to something else. And you can add many, many more things on here. In fact, I'll show you some other Bitmoji classrooms that other teachers have done so you could just see how involved it gets. So to get started, remember I wanted to walk you through how I created mine and show you some of the tips and tricks that I've learned when I created mine. And then we'll go ahead and look at some of the finished products. And then I'd like to show you how you can include this on your Google Classroom, for those of you that use Google Classroom. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start fresh, and I'm going to just open a blank tab. And this is done in Google Docs. Sorry, Google Slides. So we need to access our Google Suite here and find Google Slides, which is this yellow box. Click on that. Okay, and here we are with Google Slides open. I want to create a new one. So I'm going to go to this plus symbol here, start a new presentation. And a new slide presentation is going to open up. Now, the first thing I will do when you have this open is go ahead and name this presentation so that you know you can access it later. So here you would just type it up in this left-hand corner. And you can name it Miss Ferreira's Bitmoji Classroom. Just like that. So the very next thing that you do, because we're going to go step by step here, is here you have a slide that has text boxes. We don't need these text boxes. We want a clear canvas. So we're going to go ahead and delete those. and just get them off the slide here. So now we have a blank place to go ahead and start building our digital space. Okay. First thing you want to do is we need to give it a background. So we need to have a floor and a wall background. So backgrounds for these can be found right here in the Google Slide area. So all I do is click on backgrounds here. It's going to bring this up. I say I want to choose an image. Okay, I'm going to go to Google Images and I'm going to type floor and wall background. It's going to pull up all different kinds of floor and wall backgrounds. So for the one that I created, I used this one here. Okay, so you can pick that. I liked that it had the little plant there in the corner, but just because I'm going to try a new one. So I think I'm going to go here with the gray in the back, and that also has a fun plant. So I'll just use that one. We click done, and there's our background. Look how beautiful that is. Wouldn't you like to be in a classroom that looked like this? Already, I love it. So the next thing you do is you start including and inserting images that you want to have in your classroom. So there might be some thought process that will go into this, thinking, okay, do I want this to look like my actual place, my actual classroom? If you have an actual classroom, some of you might be teachers that teach from home or homeschoolers, and this would be a great way to communicate with your students that way. You might be an online teacher, and this is another great way to communicate with students. So however you want this to look, but you kind of need to be thinking about it ahead of time and start from big pieces to smaller pieces. So the first big piece that I'd like to start with is before you start decorating your house, you're going to pick out a rug, right? The rug goes at the bottom. So I think rug is a fun way to start. Now, to do the background, we went here, all right? But if we want to insert a rug, we're going to do that differently. We're going to go to the Insert tab. We're going to click Image. We are going to search the web. And then that will pull up this area here at the right. And in this area, you're going to go ahead and type, what are we wanting to search for? A rug. There we go. But we can't just put the word rug in here because we don't want any background in whatever it pulls up. So the important tip is you have to include the word transparent in front of rug. Click on that. And let's see what it brings up. Look at that. It has a whole ton of rugs that you can choose from. I will say this. I mean, if I like this rug, that would be great. But if I put this rug here, you can visually see that it would just be a flat something and it has no dimension to it. So you're going to want to pick a rug that has some dimension to it. Now, although I'm not crazy about these colors, I want to choose this one so I can show you another little tip that I figured out. Okay, so I'm choosing that brown rug. I'm going to insert it into my object and look, it's gigantic. So of course, we're going to use our box here to resize it to the size that we need it to be. And just pull those in. Okay, I'm thinking, oh, well, that's pretty close, but I might go a little bit more. Okay, we'll try that. But the next thing I want to say to you is that look at all this empty extra area around the rug. So I like to go ahead and take those and crop them right up next to the object. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to double click. It's going to bring up those black bars around. You'll go ahead and just pull those in closely so that we won't have that extra space that we have to deal with. There we go. All right, now I've got my two crosshairs here on my image. That lets me move. I'm going to move it on down. And let's see what we got here. Well, didn't work. We'll just try that again. We don't know where that went. There it is. Okay. So somehow this is disappearing. It's not liking being moved down there, so maybe that might be a problem. I think it likes to stay on the wall better. Well, it's where I want it, but it's not going to stay there. So I'm going to go ahead and try another rug. Let's see if this background doesn't like that rug. So let's take this purple one. Insert it. Here we go. Okay, so this one may be almost the right size. Okay, not bad. Okay, I'll just take it down a notch. And there we go. I think I like that. Not looking too bad. Now, you can definitely work with this for a long, long time. I mean, I could be here forever trying to get the rug exactly where I want it, but I want to move on and show you some other things that we can use. Okay, if you didn't like the color of this purple rug, that's why I chose the brown one, because I wanted to be able to show you that you can recolor this rug. Maybe we want it to be a different color. So let's see what the options are. Here's how you do it. You click, make sure the box is clicked. You can right click and go to format options. See how you see that little paintbrush? We're going to pull up those format options and this appears here on the right. Notice the word recolor. So let's see if this object can be a different color. Okay, so it pulled up all of these colors here. So if you don't like that bright, bright purple, maybe we want it to be blue. Hey, that's a little softer on the eyes. I think I like that. Okay, it looks a little bit like space or something. So we'll leave it like that. I think I'm gonna like that one. All right, so the next thing I want to be able to have something in my room that I can post my assignments on. So in the one I showed you before, I used a whiteboard. So we want to go back to insert. I want to search for an image. Okay, we're going to search the web. Here we got transparent already there. We need to stick with transparent. Let's go ahead and say transparent whiteboard and see what it'll pull up. Okay, lots of choices, lots of choices. Some of them will have stuff around it and you might want to consider that, do you want it to have the white space around? So let's just take this one and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, there's our whiteboard. We'll place it where we need to place it. Well, that looks a little bit small. So I want it to be quite a bit bigger so I could type inside of it. Okay. Well, there we go. Now we're getting a good size. Okay. It's looking good. I'm going to stretch that out a little. I'm going to go a little this way because I'm going to put something else there. Perfect. Okay, so there's our white space, and this is where we're going to post most of our assignments. So that's going to be your main space. Okay. Now, different teachers do different things. Some of them put the assignments here, which is a great way to do it because that's your focal point. I've seen a lot of people even be able to insert their own picture here of the teacher, or you might even want to put your Bitmoji there, however you want to make this work. But I'll show you how we'll include text on there if you want to actually put your assignments on. But let's for now go ahead and keep it going with the images. What else did we have on my finished Bitmoji Classroom? Well, one important thing was that bookshelf, and the bookshelf was placed there so that I could actually put the books on the bookshelf or the different objects like the math manipulatives and go ahead and link them to what we need to link them, like the certain things that we're studying at the time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I want to insert because I want to find that bookshelf. Okay, so I'm going to search the web, go over here to the right, type transparent bookshelf, and let's see what comes up. I love thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to see? So here we go. All of these bookshelves. And you can see as you get down further, it might not quite match what you need. So I think we'll just stick with what we have up at the top, and maybe we'll go with this one. Okay, there's our bookshelf. I like it. We'll move it over here to its space. Okay, very good. Oh, and that's going to be great room to put our books and stuff on there. I like it already. So we got some silver going on. We got some gold going on. It's looking good. Okay. All right. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and put some books on here. I want to be able to connect the learning, what we're studying. So we're going to go search for that. Now, it may be in here, it may not, but I found that it was also easy to find more things, more choices if I just did a plain Google search. So what was I studying? What was my novel that I was reading with my class? Well, it happened to be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I'm going to do a regular Google search for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Okay, it's going to pull up just like this, but we want to find images because I want to find an image of that book. Okay, you can see here, there's tons of images of the actual book. So I'm going to take this one here. And there it brings up an image. I'm going to right click on that, copy that image, and then I'm going to go back to my classroom and I'm going to place that image right here on the bookshelf. Here we go. There it is, my lovely Charlie. Now that's way too big. So what am I going to do? I'm going to resize it really smaller so that it can fit on our bookshelf. Okay, that looks good. I don't like the white, so I want to crop it in. Take that white off. Okay, and almost. There, perfect. Okay, now I'm going to move that over to the bookshelf. Isn't that great? I love it. Okay, so the next thing I need to show you, I'm almost running out of my 30-minute time, so I'm going to try to go a little quicker and pick up the pace. So I want to be able to show you how to connect a link to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a regular Google search, and what I put in here is audio of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory because I want my students to be able to listen to it or read the books that they have. So here we go. We have an audio in YouTube. So I'm going to click in there because I want to be able to get the link that will link to this. So here it is there. Click on that, right click. Okay, I'm going to copy that link, go back to my classroom. Now I want to connect it to here. So here is where we go. We're going to go up here to the tools and you can see that they will be, click on that first, and there will be a link icon. See that insert link? We want to click there. I'm going to paste my link here. Okay, apply. And now this link is connected to that image of the book. Okay, so I've already got one. So that is what you will do. You will just continue to go through that. If you want some math manipulatives or you want something else here, you would do that on that next shelf. And then I think I had National Geographic on this third shelf. So you would just continue to put things on there that you want connected. They don't have to be on the bookshelf. They can be anywhere in the room. So I've seen a lot of teachers, have a poster up above here or maybe a clock that you can connect other links to, other hyperlinks. All right, the next thing I want to do is go ahead and show you how to get your words up here. What you will do is you will use a text box, and the text box icon is here. Click that. Click in the space, and there you see it gives you a text box. So I'm going to move that over. I'm going to resize this text box to be just a little bit smaller than my board here. And then I'm going to go ahead and click twice to start typing. So I will say November assignments. And that's how you start including text here. So you will just continue to type on through that and put whatever you want to in that area. The next thing I want to do is I want to make sure I put my Bitmoji in here so that you can see, and then I'll show you how we we send this to Google Classroom so that the kids can see it on their end. All right, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to grab a Bitmoji. I'm going to do a standing pose. You can see crazy ones that come up, and see if I can get something where I'm standing. Okay, I don't see anything I love. So how about we say Happy Thanksgiving? And there's a Happy Thanksgiving message here. Well, see if they'll pull it up. I'm getting behind. Okay, I'm going to take that, and I might just put right click, copy image. I'm going to go over here and paste it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to have to resize that quite a bit. But look at that. We can have a fun little message here saying Happy Thanksgiving. So there's so many other things that you can include here. And I wanted to show you those finished ones that the other teachers have done that are just amazing, but I'll let you go ahead and Google that because I really want to get to making sure that you guys can post this in your Google Classroom. So I have my tab open for Google Classroom, and this is what comes up, Candace Pereira's class. You'll go to Classwork, create an assignment, and it'll pull this up. So what I would write here, a message for my students, I would say Bitmoji Classroom. I would give them instructions if I need to. If I would say, check out our November assignments. Out our November assignments. And if they look at this one, they're going to see just my Bitmoji message there. Okay, and then I can say, click link, I can upload, I can add something to create, I can give them a YouTube video or something from my drive. So I'll just hit link. Okay, I probably need to grab my link first. So I link to my classroom, copy, go back to my classroom, add the link here. Okay, and the students are going to be able to see my Google Classroom here. So that was a lot to get in 30 minutes. I probably could have gone an hour and talked so much more about this and really showed you my finished product. But I did want you to just see the major things. Remember that I have the steps to create this Bitmoji Classroom. I'm going to go ahead and copy that one more if you joined late so that you can see it here and make sure you have access to that. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you letting me take 30 minutes of your life. Good luck creating your Bitmoji Classroom. Bye.